Hello, everybody. It's Austin Broder with Digital Media Academy and Animation Redefined. If you guys finish your textures in that last video, then you are good to go to start bringing our models into Maya to light it and to render it. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, let's finish this up by getting a render going. So first, I'm going to switch over to my object list. I'm going to select my new low resolution mesh. From here, let's go to File, Send to Maya. Send selected as a new scene. I'm going to send the mesh at current level. I actually subdivided my low poly mesh once, just to give it a little more smoother edges and rounded edges. Now it's going to ask you about where you want to export all of these texture maps. I'm going to set this to Documents, Maya, Projects, Default, Source Images, or whatever your project folder is. I'm going to click OK. Alright, and here's my model. I'm going to zoom out. And now you'll see we have our low poly model. It looks gray, but if I press 4, it's wireframe. 5 is shaded. 6 will show my textures. So now I have all my textures in here, and they're all connected to a default Maya material. So now there's just a couple things I'll try to do in order to get him ready for a render. One thing I can do is kind of edit my model or pose him. If I go into vertex mode, I can grab a vertex and tap B with symmetry off. I can kind of give him a little bit of like a smirk. I also might try closing his mouth a little bit. Alright, and now I'm going to start adding in a couple of the things that will be included in the description if you want to download them, one of which is a pre-made eyeball. I'm going to go to File, Import. Alright, and when it first comes in you may not be able to see it, so I'm just going to switch to my Move tool and move it forward. Oop, here it is. It's a little bit small, so I'm going to resize it and try to place it somewhere that I think will look nice. Now I'm going to duplicate it, but I want to make sure to grab the whole group. And then I can just switch over to the other side. Okay, so now let's see what this looks like in a render. Go up to the Arnold tab and click on Arnold Render View. Now you won't see anything at first, so go to the Render button and click on Run IPR. Still won't see anything. The issue is we don't have any lights, so one of the other files I included was a 3-point light system. If you want to make your own lights, you can go to Arnold tab, go to the lights, and I like using the area lights, but there's other options as well if you want to research those. But if you just want a simple setup, go to Import and get that 3-point light setup in there. And now you'll be able to see your model. Now let's do a couple more things just to finish this up. I like to use the IPR as a way to preview my scene and see what the render is going to look like. I can use it to very quickly get an idea of how I want my camera placed or how I want my lights, which you can grab the whole light group and rotate to edit or create your own custom light setup. Once you get a setup that you like, you can come up to your render settings, and I'm going to scroll down to image size and change it from HD 540 to 720. And now to see what a final render would look like, I'm going to uncheck progressive refinement, and I'm going to go to Arnold and render. Now what you'll notice is that your render may have a lot of these little speckles and some of the shadowy things. These are because our samples are not high enough. So in the render settings, I'm going to go to the Arnold Renderer tab. I'm going to crank up camera or anti-aliasing samples to 7. This will make the render longer, but a higher quality and less of those artifacts. At the bottom of your window, you'll see that it says rendering as long as it's rendering. Once it has a time code, it'll tell you how long it took. Okay, now that it's done, let's go ahead and save our render. Go to File, and let's save a multi-layer EXR. What's nice about this is it will save transparency, so everything that's black in the background will be transparent so that we can add in a different background really easily in Photoshop. Alright, now we've got a render. So now in the next video I will show you how to take this into Photoshop and show you some tricks where we can really push this to look amazing. I hope you really are enjoying this. I'll see you guys soon.